I reviewed the June 2025 housing data for Hampton Roads, and there's three things that I realized. Prices are still rising, inventory is still climbing, and competition is very real in this market. And I want to know if you're thinking about moving to the Hampton Roads market. There you go. Come on. Come on with it. Come on with it. I reviewed the June 2025 housing market data report for Hampton Roads, and I can tell you, it's three things that I realized. Prices are still rising, inventory is still climbing, and competition is very real. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, I've been telling you this for quite a bit, that things are not settling down here in the Hampton Roads market. And in the June 2025 market data that I'm going to share with you, it's going to prove just that. So if you are thinking about making that move to the Hampton Roads market this summer, then this is the exact video that you want to watch, because I'm laying it all out there for you today by giving you the exact stats, the local trends, and even actionable steps that you can take just to make sure that you're ready for this summer market. My name is Craig Houston. I'm with the Moving to Norfolk team. And if this is your first time with us, I want to welcome you to the channel. And I want you to know this is a channel that talks about any and everything dealing with the 757 and the Hampton Roads real estate market across the board. So if you're interested in relocating, buying a home, selling here, investing here, then this is the channel for you. And I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, so that way you can be the first to learn about any and everything that's taking place in the 757. And I get phone calls and text messages from viewers just like you each and every week, and I love every moment of it. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text at any time at 757-294-8163. So let's just talk about it. Let's get it all out of here right now. Craig, well, what's the point in watching this video right now if all you're going to do is tell me that home prices are continuing to go up? Yeah, inventory is coming up, but people are still out here going in droves like it's still the pandemic times right now. Well, there is some pause that I want to make sure that you understand, and that's why I want to make sure I provide clarity in this video today, is that we're going to talk about these cities, and we're going to talk about exactly what's going on in the market, especially from my perspective, because I'm out there in the trenches each and every day, helping buyers, helping sellers get positioned in the market the way that they need to, so that way that they can make the best of the case that they're in right now. And PCSing here is not for the faint of heart, especially if you're thinking about purchasing a home. And none of this is to scare you. It's just to make sure that we understand that we position the story the way that it needs to be positioned. And I want to help you today understand exactly what's going on in this market. So let's just talk about what's going on with pricing. Let's just get directly into that. You'll see that home prices just continue to climb. Like they're just climbing, and they're going to continue to climb. Right now, the median sales price across Hampton Roads when it comes to residential attached and residential detached homes together, so condos, townhouses, single family homes, it's about $375,000 across the board. Okay. Now, you're going to see that Chesapeake and Virginia Beach are going to be some of the better markets in this area because of pricing. And the demand for pricing is continuing and going through the roof in those areas as well, too, right now. Like Chesapeake for the month of June is looking at $430,000, which is up about 7% year over year. And then you're looking at $395,000 in Virginia Beach, which is down about 3.7% year over year. But the main thing is that all the cities across the board, when we get down to our local market snapshots, you're going to see that they're very healthy when it comes to pricing. And there's going to be some areas where I'm thinking like, this could be the moment right now where you can seize opportunity in these markets. So we're going to talk about those things right here. But really and truly, what I love for people to understand is that I say it all the time. This market right now is not seeing a step back when it comes to pricing. It's actually still continuing to softly continue to increase marginally over time, which is better than just seeing a big spike, because that could lead to like market crashes like areas like Phoenix and Seattle and some of California, that you've seen some of these markets start to tank a bit. But in our area, we're seeing it actually just gradually still climbing, because pricing is still actually in demand and homes are in demand, and the inventory is very, very low still in this market. So that's what it really comes down to for me when you start to look at these numbers a bit here. But I mean, let's just really talk about it a little bit more here. What's up with the inventory? Right now, you'll see inventory is up about 20% year over year, leaving us with about active listings of about 5,470 homes actually on the market, with about 3,200 of those being new listings, which is up about 10% year over year. Now, so like I say all the time, we're going to see some of the best inventory in the years has been now, because when we was doing the pandemic time frame, there was no homes. People was lining up outside to even view a home. And now we're seeing it where if your home is positioned right, which we're going to talk about here in a second, is that inventory is going to matter, because now there's a little bit more competition. So you want to make sure your home is positioned right in the market if you're trying to sell your home fast. Timing is still going to be important, but right now, with inventory starting to come back to the market, there's more selection for buyers to actually pick from. And with buyers having more inventory to pick from, then you have to be very meticulous in what you're looking to put to the market and who your specific buyer is. And this is how we tailor our presentations for sellers when we're actually doing our listing presentation, is that, yes, we want to know the buyer profile before we even put your home on the market, because knowing that makes this a little bit more seamless for you. But also taking that into account when it comes to buyers as well, when you're looking at the inventory that's on the market, sometimes it's going to be slim pickings and sometimes there's going to be a vast amount of inventory. So it just depends on where we're at and what city that we're looking in, if it's going to matter to you and how that's going to be playing out. So let's talk about the days on market right now. Like, we're seeing that on average, it's about 17 median sale days currently right now. And places like Virginia Beach, if it's positioned right, is moving fast in about 12 days. So you can see in other areas that you can see about somewhere between 17 and 19 days on average when it comes to median sales price, well, median days on market, where it's actually going to play in a factor here for a lot of people. But I mean, anything less than a month is tremendously fast. I know people still are living in the pandemic timeframes when it comes to that mindset, and when they hear their neighbors, their friends, their uncles, their Jimmy talk about, hey, yeah, I put my house on the market and it sold in 3 days. I got multiple offers, things of that nature. We're still seeing some of that a little bit. It's just in pockets. It's in certain neighborhoods, but you're not seeing that across the board now. But it still does not mean that your house cannot sell in a week. It does not mean that your house cannot sell in 12 days, which is very fast in this market. And to me, if you look at the national median days on market, you will see that Hampton Roads is vastly underneath that number when it comes across the board to what we're actually seeing in these markets. So you really want to take this with a grain of salt about what it is that you're really seeing, because to me, 17 days is tremendously well. And I mean, it's always going to come back down to what we're, like I said, we're going to talk about it here about what is actually coming to the market. See, the inventory makes it a little bit more unique to me. When you see that these numbers are still this way, that means that the inventory is still ideally favorable for the buyer, because they're actually coming in and getting these houses off the market quickly. So to me, that means that the inventory has been very, very, I should say very, very, it's been better. Okay. So with the inventory being better than what you're probably seeing during the pandemic, that makes it to me a little bit easier for people to understand that they need to move methodically to get a home off the market, and they're moving with urgency is what I'm seeing. Now, let's just talk about what this means for buyers, okay? So we're going to break this down, and these are the 4 things that I really think is important to note if you're a buyer and you're looking to purchase in this market, okay? You need to be prepared, really and truly. And what does that mean? You have now a little bit more negotiation leverage, okay? With the inventory being up, you're seeing buyers that can be a little bit more selective when it comes to what they want to purchase. And now you can actually have a little bit more pull and give and take when it comes down to offering what you need to offer, but also offering what you feel is a home is worth, and not really paying over the top for it unless it's just one of those hot homes in a community. So you're seeing a little bit more give and take on contingencies when you can see now home inspections being done. You can see where buyers are actually being a little bit more methodical and asking for closing cost concessions, and hoping that they can work out a deal with the seller where it's favorable terms for them, but also you're still seeing favorable terms from the seller, which we'll talk about here in a second. But then you're seeing that more markets are now starting to expand. We recently did a video where we talked about people are leaving Virginia Beach for a particular city, which one of them was Suffolk. So Suffolk is now one of those areas where people are now starting to see the development grow here. A lot of people don't like all the construction that's taking place in Suffolk right now. But really and truly, this is still an area where people are now migrating to because it's about space, having the square footage, having the privacy as much as you possibly can, and still being able to commute to the beach if you want to go to the beach, still being able to commute if you want to go to Virginia Beach for a night out on the town, but you don't necessarily have to be there entrenched in the city each and every day of the week. Some people love that. And if you're one of those that love it, then Virginia Beach is obviously going to still always be an emerging market for you. But other areas like Newport News, we're starting to see that area grow a bit here as well. And being on the peninsula side, that's a market where a lot of people want to be at right now. It's really amazing how we're seeing like some of these spectrums really change over time. And me being out in these markets, I really seen where some of this is taking place. And it makes a lot of more sense to me when you actually take the time to actually embrace some of the things that's going on in those communities. So if you're looking for restaurant, shopping, and dining, you're seeing that in Newport News right now. You're seeing that growth happen. You're seeing that development story take place out there. And if you're looking for privacy and you want to be away from it all, Suffolk still gives you the best of both worlds, where you can be in your own retreat, your own reserve, and still be able to still get to the city within a favorable time as well. Now, you need to be financially ready. So that means either cash ready and prepared to go, or at least have your pre-approval with your lender in place. A lot of times sellers won't even be ready to engage in any talks of conversations about an offer if there's not any form of proof that you can actually perform when it comes to the offer that you're making. So you need to have that prepared, have that out of the way. The sooner that you have your pre-approval and you're out in the market, you're actually shopping, the better it's going to be for you, because you're going to be able to make a swift decision on what you need. And sometimes you have to move with urgency. Like if a house comes on the market today and it really fits the profile that you're looking for, whether that's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 1,800 square feet, it has a primary ensuite. If it has all the things that you're looking for, all that bells and whistles, you're not the only one looking for it. That's really what it really comes down to. You're not the only one looking for it, and the better that you can move with urgency to write an offer after you understand that this may be the house for you, then you're going to be in a more competitive field than not. Because if you're lacking and waiting on a pre-approval, and you still got to gather all your documents to give to the lender, all these things taking place, that's going to put you behind the curve, and it's probably going to help make you wait. You're going to miss out because the seller's probably not going to wait for you to actually get all these things turned around. And depends on how long it takes you to turn it around, depends on how long the lender is going to be able to turn around with an approval as well. So, but you need to be monitoring market signals as well too. As the inventory continues to shift, as we continue to see that it increases, and we see new listings coming to the market. But what we're still seeing is that as soon as these new listings come to the market, they're coming right back off the market as well too. So you got to watch the signals, because right now things are not moving at a snail's pace. They're moving quite frequently well right now, and they're moving at a frantic pace, especially in certain markets like Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, and some parts of Suffolk, and even some parts of Hampton as well, is seeing this demand just explode right now. So it's really important to pay attention to what's going on in the market at this point. Now, let's just talk about the market strategy for sellers, okay? And this is going to be something that I always say, and it's some of the things that I think that people just are so unaware about, that we need to make sure that we discuss it in full. Honestly, that you're going to pricing strategy is going to matter. Like right now, we're seeing some communities right now where they're going through an upheaval, where people are selling houses for less than what they purchased them for in certain cases in one particular community that I know of. And the reason why is because they're just frustrated. So they're frustrated with the community itself, and they want out of that community. So they're willing to turn in some of their equity to get out of these houses, which is crazy, but I mean, it happens. So this is one of those markets that we're seeing it in. Now, the pricing strategy is going to matter, because depending on what your situation is, yes, we got to take your full situation in consideration, but then we also got to take in consideration what is happening in your neighborhood. And being very aggressive with pricing is going to be better for the seller than taking the approach of, I need to get every dollar out of the market. So you want to squeeze the market. And we talk about pricing strategy in our listing presentations with our sellers about exactly the options that we're going to put forth for you. And you let us know which one works best for you, because really and truly the pricing strategy, you have to own it. But we want to make sure it's within bounds to make sure that you can get the best offer and get the most buyers frequency through your home to get the best offer and even multiple offers in a lot of situations as well. Then quality listings are always going to win. This is what we was talking about at the beginning here when it comes down to the inventory, is that when you put your home in the right position to where you can actually make the best offer, you can make the best opportunities for yourself as a seller. When you're putting your home on the market, you don't want someone coming in using their iPhone to take pictures. You want to make sure that they give you the baseline of understanding of how you want your home to present each and every time someone walks through your home. That means decluttering the home. That means actually doing staging if it's necessary. Actually getting all the things that you don't need in the home out of the way. Whether you have to put it in storage, whether you have a storage closet, things of this nature, packing the garage up and making it neat. It's just one of those things where it's a lot that goes into it, and it always takes taking that keen look at that property and putting it in the best light for you. Now, don't get me wrong, properties are properties, and we have to make sure that we talk about how variable properties are. Sometimes there's investment properties, sometimes there's short sale properties, sometimes they're foreclosed properties, sometimes there are HOA properties, and the condo fees are going super high, and the community don't even look like it's taking advantage of those condos, so those condo fees. So I think you just got to kind of understand what kind of home that you actually have and what type of buyer profile that you're looking to attract. And when we take that into consideration, then that takes us into how we're going to actually make a quality listing presentation for you, but then also how we're going to present your home to the buyer profile that we're looking for as well. So when it comes to presentation of your home, it's not a negotiation, honestly. If you can declutter it, that's always the best. People always ask me, should we just take everything out? I don't say you have to take everything out, because I like to walk homes with the sellers, because you might have unique pieces that we can use for your listing photos or just to present as part of the house to make it to where people can always walk through the home and feel and picture themselves there as well too. Sometimes it's some overbearing pieces, but that's okay too. We can figure that out. But when it really comes down to it, is that you want to make it where the buyer can see themselves living in your home, or at least can see what they can do with the home. And so a lot of times you got to understand that presentation of the home is not a negotiation. Honestly, you want to put it in the best light possible for it to actually get you the top dollar that you're demanding, or at least being unloading as well too. So momentum matters, right? First impressions are going to be critical, honestly, because really and truly you're already seeing it. 17 days median days on market on average, and if we go in certain communities, you're talking about some of them have about 10 days on average in the last 6 months, or you'll see in certain communities that they're about 30 days on average in the last 6 months. So it really matters about making that first impression, because that first 7 days on the market is going to be very critical. You're at the top of the listings, you're going to be presented as new, and that's going to filter to buyers first to say, oh, have I seen this property? And if they have not yet seen it, they're going, and it fits their profile, they're going to want to go out and see it. And you want to make sure that you snatch all those individuals up to get you the best deal, quality deal, as much as possible, because that's really going to make a difference here for you. And we want to take advantage of that momentum. Now, rates have been holding steady, okay? And we obviously know that buyer activity is up, because we're seeing listings actually increase, but then we're also seeing we're seeing homes sell very fast as well too. So we know buyer activity is up. Now, the current fixed rate for the VA is at 6.71. Now, you do have like a slight dip in June, and then you're seeing a continual gradual trend. Now, people keep on saying, I can't wait for the interest rates to go down. Here's the thing when it comes to interest rates, and I really just like to take a second here and talk about this, because I think this is really one of those things where I just want to put some emphasis into this. Interest rates can go down, and eventually they may go down. When do they go down? I really don't know. I really don't. People keep talking about the price cuts that may come in September. I'm not there yet. And even if it does come in September, it's already going to be factored in prior to September, because that's what lenders do. They take this into account prior to, and the market takes it into account prior to the rate cut actually happening. So when the rate cut does happen, you don't really see the difference because it already has been priced in at that point. But let's just say interest rate do come down to, let's just say 5.5. If they come down to 5.5, the market would have no inventory in Hampton Roads. I really do mean this. Like, there will be no inventory, and then people will be wanting to sell their homes, but realistically they will not find a deal that they was looking for. Now, like right now, your out-of-pocket expense at 6.71% is high on the payment, but the closing cost fees are really right now probably at their best of being negotiated right now. Now, there are markets where there are markets or neighborhoods in our market where you still are going to be fighting tooth and nail to get the house that you love, but in certain markets it's going to be favorable conditions to where you can negotiate with the seller. And as those interest rates continue to slide down, that's going to bring more qualified buyers into the market. And when they bring more qualified buyers into the market, that means there is more competition. Remember, we started this conversation with prices are rising, inventory climbing, and competition is very real. The lower the interest rate go, the more the competition will be there. So to me, it's about what is better for you. Are you able to right now get into a home that makes sense for you at the payment that makes sense for you? Or you want to wait for the interest rate to go down because you want to say that you have a favorable interest rate and then still can't find the home that you want? I think that's really what you need to kind of pay attention to a bit here. And I really don't understand why a lot of people want to talk about, hey, I want the best rate. I get it. I would love the best rate too. But also I understand that competition is fierce right now. So if it's less competition and I have the cash flow to actually purchase right now, I'm okay with purchasing now in my terms that I need to make. And then when the interest rates do come down, I at least already have the property, and then I can refinance to a lower payment if that's really what I need to do. I really think that's really where we're at. So there's no Fed cut this month in July. You're expecting to see one in September, possibly. Is that going to get us down to 6.25, 6.1, 5.9? If we hit 5.8, I think if there's a 5 in any one of the digits, you can see there's going to be a market frenzy and the media is going to make this big explosion about it. But really and truly, it's going to just mean that it's more fierce competition because you have more buyers at certain price points that's going to be qualified to help buy the same home that you was already qualified to buy in the first place. So that's just my thought process. I don't push telling you how to handle your finances, but realistically, when it comes down to the interest rates, right now is a more favorable time for a lot of buyers to be purchasing, and even for sellers to offload their property and to turn around, take their cash and upgrade property. I think this is a great time for sellers as well too at this rate, because you want to be in before the rate drop, in my opinion, because you can always refinance it, but you may not be able to get the home later that you'll be looking for and desire at that point in time. So that's my rant. I'm off my rant. Let's keep it moving. Okay. So now, when it comes down to what you can expect, you can expect that quarter three is going to start to see the price appreciation happen now, because we're going to see that take place. And like, you're going to see the market move a bit more, where you're going to see it start to flatten out, but there's going to be certain ranges of prices where it's going to be higher. Okay. And then you're going to see that military presence come in. We're already seeing the ports get more job opportunities down here in Hampton Roads as well too, especially with the Carnival Cruise Line terminals opening up now as well. And now you got buyers are now starting to shift into like fear of missing out. I'm getting more calls from buyers who are looking to purchase now, and they're looking to get off the snide and actually make a move now because they don't know what's going to happen with the rates. They see what's going on with the market, and right now they have the cash flow, and they want to put their cash into something that's a hard asset, and that's what they're looking to do right now. So I think this is a more so of a value focused approach that a lot of people are taking, and this is really where you want to make sure that you fall into that, to the scenario that makes sense for you. If it makes sense right now to purchase, I think you should be considering purchasing, and you should be giving us a call. But if it's really not just yet, maybe you take the time to understand the market a little bit more, but don't be fearful of making a move if it's time for you to make that move as well. Now, for sellers, I still think that there's still a strong seller market. It's no inventory, really and truly. And with there being no inventory, is, even though we're talking about 5,000 homes, still not a lot of houses. So realistically, you want to make sure that, you know, if this is the time for you where you was thinking about considering upgrading property, or maybe you have multiple homes, maybe you have a rental home and you have your primary home, and you're thinking about, maybe I should offload one to do something with my primary home. This is probably the best time to do it, because right now the market is still salivating for inventory. And right now, this could be the opportunity for you as well too. So let's talk about Chesapeake just for a second. We're gonna go through our quick market round robin of the 7 cities real quick and just show you. You'll see that new listings in Chesapeake is up 26%, 510 new homes, 774 homes in inventory. Then you'll see Virginia Beach, it had about 1,000 homes in inventory right now with 676 new listings in June. Then you'll see Norfolk had a 330 median sales price with new listings about 392, with active inventory about 636 homes. Sold 280 homes last month. Then you'll see in Suffolk, the median sales price is about 383,000, and you'll see the active inventory was up 550,000, but 550 homes, with new listings about 271 and about 25 days on market, which is the slowest in the region. Okay. Now you'll see in Hampton 293,000, almost approaching that $300,000 price point, and you'll see that the active inventory was about 364 homes actual, and then you'll see that's about 216 new listings in last month. Now, Newport News, 313,000 was the median new sales price, which is up 4.3% year over year. And they had about 408 homes in active inventory, with new listings being about 266. And you'll see in Portsmouth had about 19 days on market, slightly above the regional average, which is about active inventory about 340 homes, 211 new listings, and that's about 272,500 median sales price. Now, are you ready to buy, sell, or relocate this summer? Okay, this is what I want you to do. If you want to get this presentation, you want to get our Hampton Roads market update, go ahead and just text me market at 757-294-8163. Or you can leave the comment down below as well too, and we'll make sure we get our market update over to you as well too. So really and truly, we build custom plans to help you, and we help you win with data-driven decisions. Okay, so that is our June market update. Let me know, what do you think about this market update, and any questions that you have. Once again, I would love to help people everywhere I possibly can. And if you have questions, definitely leave them down there for us as well too. And if you found value in this content, definitely hit me with a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. But I want to leave you with this right here. If you're really and truly ready to make that move to the Hampton Roads market, the only decision to do is to get started. Get started today. And then if that road and that path leads you into 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, or even 2 years, you've already got the process rolling, because you made the decision that you was going to do it today. So if you ever need anything, or you got any other questions, I'd love to be here for you. Once again, my name is Craig Houston. You can always reach out to me at any time, and by phone call or text message at 757-294-8163. And if you like this video, you will definitely love this one too. It's a banger.